It's Women's History Month, so let's talk about fashion. Welcome to Women's Traditional Fashion from Around the World, a program where you will learn about some styles of traditional female clothing from around the world. Now, you may be wondering why fashion? Well, women have been using clothes to express themselves for many years. An outfit may communicate beauty, power, status, solidarity, pride in their heritage, and much more. So, with that in mind, let's enjoy and let's get into it.
Hello, I'm Francis, and I'm going to talk to you about some traditional Latin American female clothing. Now, pretty much every country has traditional clothing that women and men may wear in everyday life, or for some special occasions, such as Independence Day festivities. Most traditional clothing was formed by mixing the cultures of native and European people, which were mostly Spanish new settlers. So with that in mind, let's take a look at three countries' traditional clothing. Mexico. Mexican women wear very beautiful and feminine dresses. However, every corner of Mexico has its own traditional dress design. So today I will be focusing on Tehuantepec in Oaxaca, Mexico. Did you know that Frida Kahlo started wearing her own interpretation of traditional Tehuana dress in her 20s? In 2018, the Victoria and Albert Museum held a special exhibition called Frida Kahlo, Making Herself Up. Most of the pictures in my presentation will be coming from that. According to a New York Times article, the famous Mexican painter started wearing full skirts, embroidered blouses, and regal coiffure associated with the matriarchal society from the Isthmus of Tehuantepec in Oaxaca, Mexico. This is one of the outfits Frida Kahlo used to wear. The picture comes courtesy of Museo Frida Kahlo. It consists of the huipil, which is a cotton blouse, an enagua, which is made from cotton cloth printed with floral designs, and it's the skirt. And the hualan is the ruffles at the bottom of the skirt. She could pair one of her outfits with a coat. This one, for example, is a Guatemalan cotton coat worn with Mazatec huipil and a plain floor-length skirt. Accessories and makeup. Olga Campos, a close friend of Frida Kahlo's, once said, "She was always made up and well-dressed, even when she did not expect visitors." After weaving her long dark hair into a plaited updo and finishing it with a crown of fresh flowers or with intricate colorful ribbons, she will apply makeup to her face. She will smooth dry skin cream across her face and then add loose rice powder. Then carefully comb through her famous unibrow and thick lashes with black pigments. One of the curators from the exhibition, Claire Wilcox, said, "She was particularly fond of lipsticks and often kissed letters and photographs, leaving red imprints." Here we can see in the pictures some of the items Frida used for her makeup and nail polish to paint her nails. Her jewelry, which we often see in paintings and pictures, it is said by jewelry experts that she wore two distinct kinds of pieces: pre-Columbian beads and carved pieces of indigenous Mexican people. She also had more delicate and antique Spanish-Portuguese style of jewelry, such as long dangling earrings. One of the things that was different about Frida is that she was a disabled woman. She designed both her medical corset and the prosthetic leg she would use. Clothes for disabled women tend to be promoted in terms of functionality. However, according to Eleanor Lindsay, a founding member of the Disabled Women's Collective Sisters of Frida, said, "What we wear is part of us. that has to reflect the fashion that's going on around us. We don't want to be left out. And Frida didn't allow her disability to define her. It was an integral part of her life. And she depicted all of that in her work.
Honduras. Let's talk about the traditional clothes the women from the Esperanza Intibucá wear. Did you know? The traditional dress from La Esperanza Intibucá in Honduras is the most representative of their folk dances and is the first traditional dress to be recorded in Honduras. The dress from Intibucá is most known as manta, which is the type of cloth that is made from, which is a cotton-based cloth. It conserves both indigenous and European influences, and it has different colorful ribbons. The ribbons are around la gota, or the chest area of the blouse, as well as the sleeves, and in the skirt, which is also known as an enagua. Women's traditional clothing in Honduras will have different color patterns, and each one will represent a different region of the country. Each dress is characterized by having different volados, which is the different layers the skirt may have. Will be decorated with ribbons or different patterns in the blouse or the skirt, accessories, and makeup. In Honduras tend to wear their hair in a braid and will decorate it with different color ribbons. Usually the ribbons will be the same color as one of the ribbons in her dress. They will also adorn their heads with flowers or different types of clothes that are also matching of the dress. Their necklaces are made up of different colorful beads in sizes and shapes. They can have circles or they can even be intricate flowers. The makeup will usually consist of red lipstick and blue eyeshadow. The blue eyeshadow will represent the colors of the flag of Honduras. Peru. Let's talk about the traditional clothing the women from the Andes wear. Women from the Andes wear vibrant and colorful traditional clothes, which often have intricate embroidery and are woven with many colors, which tend to display the wearer's pride of their different regions of the Andes. The hijab or manta is a colorful cape worn by Quechua women. It is woven in the shape of a square and worn across the back and shoulders like a shawl. It is secured at the front with a pin, and it usually has different geometric, animal, or flower designs in bright colors. It can be worn for warmth or beauty, or wrapped around to carry children or goods. The jubona is the Quechua word for a traditional wool jacket. It is often adorned with different colorful patterns and buttons, and it is worn under the hijab. However, nowadays, women tend to prefer sweaters. Polleras is a wide, colorful embroidered skirt. It is called a pollera because of its resemblance of a round chicken cage. It may be embroidered with different color designs that indicate the region the woman comes from. Accessories. The montera. Women from the Andes wear different types of hats. Depending on the color, the style, or the design or the angle in which it's worn, it will indicate which region the woman is from, her class, or her civil status, whether she's married, single, or widow. The hats are usually made of red felt, and their crowns may be filled with embroidered flowers or fruits. The ribbon that holds the hat in place often has decorated white beads under it, which also indicates a woman's social status. The chumpi is the Quechua word which means belt. It is traditionally worn by women to fasten their skirts. However, men will also wear it sometimes to support their lower back when carrying heavy loads. And lastly, the hojotas, which is an open-toe sandal made from recycled tires that women, men, and children wear. Though it may look like your feet may get cold, people from the Andes have grown used to wearing them, and we wear them without socks during cold winter weather. I hope you enjoyed my presentation on traditional female clothing from Latin America. Stay tuned to learn more about other countries.
Many countries have an authentic signature style of dress that reflects their culture, and in the nation of Haiti is no exception. Although the traditional dress and textiles of Haiti are also resonating in other islands of the Caribbean, Haiti has a unique style all of its own. The traditional dress of Haiti is known as the Carabella dress. This dress is almost always made of an off-the-shoulder top and matching skirt. Haitian women favor using fabrics in various shades of reds and blues, as is traditional to the culture. Despite the warm climate of the island, the Carabella dress is generally made from sturdier fabrics and often embellished with additional ruffles, lace, and added colors and visual interest. You may also notice that women in Haiti often wear headscarves and turban for both dress and everyday life, especially in rural areas. This is part of the traditional dress of the island, and you may find that the more elaborate the dress is, the fancier and more layered the head wrap is. Although traditional dress still seem to celebrate national heritage, modern Haitians often prefer European styles such as shorts and t-shirts. It is acceptable for women to wear pants, although many women still opt to stick to skirts and dresses.
The hanbok is the traditional dress of South Korea, and the word literally translates to mean Korean clothing. For women, the hanbok is made up of two main pieces, the chima, which is a full floor-length skirt, and the joguri, which is the blouse with long sleeves. The familiar design of the hanbok was established during the Joseon period, around the 1300s. During this time, the design, colors, and materials used to make hanboks were able to distinguish a person's social status. The hanbok isn't a part of everyday wear today, but it is used for special occasions, such as weddings, birthdays, or for traditional ceremonies. Although the hanbok is primarily used for special occasions now, there are modern interpretations of the design that aim to make it a part of everyday wear. The traditional dress for women in India would be the sari. Different versions of this drapery style of clothing have existed as early as 2800 BCE. The sari is commonly worn with a petticoat, which is the underskirt, and a blouse, and the decorative end strip is known as a pallu. The blouse and the petticoat were additions that were introduced during the Victorian colonial period. The sari has many regional variations throughout the country. These variations cover things like draping style, fabrics, and designs. Although there are a lot of variations, the draping style that is commonly used is the nivi style. The sari can be either an heirloom passed down through generations or a part of everyday attire. And there are modern interpretations of the sari, like a t-shirt sari or a lenga style sari. For the Philippines, the traditional dress for women would be the bara at saya, which literally means blouse and skirt. The main parts are the baro, the blouse, the saya, the skirt, and the pañuelo, the shawl. This dress originated during the pre-colonial period of the Philippines, but went through various design changes over the years due to Spanish colonial influence and later American. One of the recognizable forms of the bara at saya is known as the Maria Clara dress, named after the popular Philippine protagonist. One of the more recent variations is the terno dress, which merged the borrowed saya into a singular dress with butterfly sleeves. The terno dress, and by extension, the borrowed saya, has modern interpretations that aim to make the dress fashionable and a part of everyday wear.
Habisha kameez is a full-length dress worn for formal occasions and holidays. It is made of cotton fabric and typically comes in white, gray, or beige shades. Nettela is a traditional scarf worn by women in Ethiopia and Eritrea. It is a two-layered thin cotton cloth. It's usually white with intricately woven borders called tebeb. When attending church, women wear the nettela with the border over the shoulders and the two layers open. The border goes over the left shoulder during leisure. Coral beads are a popular accessory in Nigeria. They are bold statement pieces that are a sign of great beauty and wealth. They are worn on special occasions like weddings, and in some parts of southern Nigeria amongst the Igbo and Edo people, coral beads are a symbol of royalty. The style of beads varies from region to region. Coral beads are also believed to have special powers. In Yoruba culture, headscarves and hair ties called gele is often worn on special occasions, and there are many ways to tie it. If you want to learn more about Nigerian head wraps, view Head Wraps with NECA on our GCPL YouTube page.
In America, during the 1980s, MTV had a significant influence on women's fashion. After its debut on August 1, 1981, young women had access to fashion inspiration 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, emulating the clothing, accessories, hairstyles, and dance moves of female musicians from every walk of life. Born in Brooklyn on June 22, 1953, Cyndi Lauper pioneered self-expression with her mismatched, second-hand wardrobe and colorful hairstyles. With a 4-octave vocal range, she could also sing, and turned her signature hit Girls Just Wanna Have Fun into a feminist anthem for the 80s. Also known for her own brand of self-expression, Madonna made black rubber gummy bracelets, fingerless gloves, and crucifixes the must-have accessories of the 1980s. With her creatively controversial music videos and signature dance moves, she influenced an entire generation of women, and made underwear as outerwear a fashion trend. As one half of the synth-pop duo Eurythmics, Annie Lennox turned androgyny into a fashion statement. With her close-cropped hair and men's suits, she not only inspired women's fashion, but challenged it as well. With her 3-octave contralto vocal range, she also duetted with the Queen of Soul herself, Aretha Franklin, on their own feminist anthem, Sisters Are Doing It For Themselves. Originally from Southwark, England, Susie Sue, lead singer of Susie and the Banshees, became a style icon for goth girls in the 1980s. With pale skin, back-combed black hair, and heavily lined eyes, Susie was your go-to inspiration if your taste in fashion leaned more towards the alternative end of the spectrum. Just as important was her music, dark, brooding, and intense, much like her style. Be sure to visit our online catalog at gwinnettpl.org to check out these and other great titles detailing fashion icons of the 1980s.